Joel, how you doing?
I'm okay, man. I'm good. I'm sitting in the kitchen now. I've been working in the kitchen.
How's that going?
It's like a nice. Yeah, it's all right to be honest, mate. This is lockdown life, isn't it? You can get so excited over such like silly things. But
That's true. That's literally it. You get like a dining table.
Yeah,
Nice.
literally.
Nice, man. Yeah, that's it. That's the power of working from home, moving your setup around.
It feels exotic in here, mate.
Yeah, no, I can see the red tiles in the back.
Yeah.
Nice, bro. Cool, man. Man, I'm just thinking this week, what's been going on? Let's start from the Open. Okay, the Open, from what I remember, Sunday, Monday. Now, this is where I feel like everything's just morphing into one. I don't know if I'm talking about this week or last week, but from what I remember correctly, at the start of the week, we were very much about risk appetite. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. And then it was like deja vu. Middle of the session, Monday, vaccine news, spike in risk appetite, and it was Moderna's turn this time.
That was it. You know what? Before we get into that, it just seems, and I always just mention this now when we're sort of talking to the members, just how it just, as you said, those weeks ago, that the default setting literally is the markets just want to be risk on. They don't care about everything else. They just want to be risk on. Any excuse they find, riskier currencies, there we go, rally stocks, here we go, let's rally. But obviously, we had that supportive news on Monday. What was that about then, dude?
Yeah, that was just, it's another pharmaceutical company, Moderna, another US company developing the vaccine. They've been one of the leading candidates. They've actually provoked, I think, a risk-on reaction in the past, like a couple of months ago.
They have.
When one of their... Yeah, do you remember we were talking about it? Because that was one of their earlier trials. Well, now it looks like basically we've got a second vaccine that we know definitely works. And it was an even slightly higher efficacy rate, I think, than the Pfizer one the week earlier. But yeah, good news.
Yeah.
It means just more vaccines to get in people, isn't it? Get back to normal life sooner.
It's true. And let's just take a look. I just want to have a look. So is it, how many times have we seen these updates? So each Monday. So was that 3 now? So we had
two.
All right. So we had it on the 16th and the 9th. So on the 16th.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Here, this was it. Look, gold was hit again. Obviously not as bad as the 9th over there. Look.
Yeah.
So, but nevertheless, it had an impact. So I think obviously that's great. So that will supported stocks and weighed upon gold and helped with the risk appetite initially, right? But then that risk on move. So I'm just going to bring up just a nice example. Let's just look at euro dollar, because euro's sort of quite neutral. So let's look. So from the start of the week, what was the start of the week? 16th, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, just every time. Every time we have a dip, or a pullback in any of the sort of versus the dollar, any of the riskier currencies or euro, whatever, you just see the market's stubborn. They just keep buying those dips. Any dips, look, we'll buy them. We just want this to continue to grind, to the upside, for all, like even AUD as well, everything. It's just been pushing to the upside. But and
the dollar just cannot catch a bid. Like even last night, yesterday it finally started to get a bit of a revival, didn't it? The dollar was picking up and everyone was like, oh my God, markets are finally pricing in these near-term virus risks after a whole week of risk appetite. But then we had that news break about the restart of the fiscal stimulus talks in the US, and dollar just died again. So
I know. It's like technically at the time when I was seeing that the dollar was like, okay, we bounced at a really key area. I'll just quickly, let me just share my screen again, just so, because it's just easier. So let me just bring up the dollar here. So basically yesterday we'd bounced at this huge, you see this area that's supporting the dollar index at the moment, 92 sort of 20. So we'd bounced there yesterday, and this was that move initially to the upside here. And I was like, okay, finally, we're making a bit of sense here. And that was like a double bottom, 1-2. Our neckline would be up here around sort of 93. And it's like, okay, this is making sense. And then when you told me yesterday, because I was just chilling out, and you told me, oh, it's risk on again. I was like, for goodness sakes, man. I step away from the charts for 1 minute, and then now this is all shifting again. It's like, man, cut me some slack. And here's me, I'm just I found it quite choppy this week in terms of trading. I've just been having to scope really near-term moves. Like I'm talking, 25, 30 pips. Really can't get these big swings at the moment, which is fine. Just have to adapt. But it's just annoying. It's like, man, can we just have some trends? Yeah,
dude, I know. I think we will get trends eventually, but I think it's just there's some like near-term risks that we have to get through before we can start trending again. Like these near-term virus risks with the lockdowns coming back in. Like you were telling me yesterday morning, I didn't even realize, but there was a lockdown in Australia that you told me about, and Japan, Tokyo's at like the highest virus alert. South Korea.
South Korea, big economy as well. They're the third largest in Asia. So
really, wow.
Yeah, it goes China, Japan, and South Korea.
Yeah, that makes sense actually.
Yeah.
You're telling me North Korea, the number 3.
Yeah, so man, it's insane, really. Like at the end of the day, as we said it's the end of the day, markets are battling between themes. Obviously, the near-term risks of obviously these lockdowns and virus cases, but then long-term optimism around a vaccine. Bro, just quickly, actually, just an interesting observation. If you have a look at likes of AUD, and NZD. So I just want to get your take on this. AUD and NZD, compared to the likes of Euro, really Euro, and GBP, AUD and NZD have really broken out of ranges compared to Euro and GBP, and even CAD. Like, these are real strong breakouts from AUD and NZD. What's your potential take on that?
I think it's, in terms of why the breakouts have been stronger, do you mean?
Yeah, they've been stronger, dude.
I think it's just because they've got a much higher beta to the dollar. So what I mean is, like, when the dollar moves this much, they tend to move like twice as much. Whereas when the dollar moves this much, Euro kind of just moves the exact same amount or even a little bit less. Same with the pound. It's just because I think they're more, it's because they're smaller economies, less liquidity, like their economies are more exposed to global conditions. So, I think it's just a function of that, really, dude.
Yeah. One thing I would actually add, just as you were saying that, I just popped in my head, is probably like you got to think a couple of things here, just from my perspective. China obviously have had a generally decent bounce back, since, recovering from the worst of the pandemic, and obviously China's obviously a huge part for Australia and next door to New Zealand. That, and then of course, I think the Biden thing was just a huge victory for both Australia and New Zealand because of the Chinese relations, maybe as well. That helps, those two sort of
factors. True.
That's
true. And I guess as well, this is something I think we've both argued as well. Like, neither of those countries have coronavirus in their country at all, really. So that's probably a plus for them.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. They Australia, I remember when I was checking at the time, this was like a couple of months ago, who was best dealing with the coronavirus, and it was Australia and New Zealand. Like, these guys weren't messing around, unlike the UK. They were just closing. They were completely closing borders, so they contained it. But we were just like, come on, come in. Everyone come in. Just business as per usual, flow in. Let's not worry about anything for now.
I know.
So, yeah.
Divot and delay. That's what Boris Johnson says in it, but that's what he did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that buffoon, I haven't heard much from him for a while. Is he like hiding away somewhere? Because I haven't seen much of him.
No, he is. He's in self-isolation.
Oh, that's what it is. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It's so stupid, man, because it's like he's in self-isolation because he wants to set a good example. Because he knows that 90% of the country, when they get told to self-isolate, they just don't do it.
It's true.
So he's trying to set a good example. The thing is, right now, he's already had coronavirus and he tested negative 2 days ago. He doesn't have it. And he should be negotiating a deal with the EU, and he's just not.
I know.
Oh, man.
Mate, this guy has completely run away from responsibilities. I think this guy, he thought, he'd be Boris. Just like, he thought this was going to be a walk in the park, this job as the Prime Minister, but this guy is really out of his depth. He's a very poor leader, I must say, because look, politics aside, well, not politics aside, because I'm about to talk politics, but I voted, I voted Conservative Party just because I didn't want to vote for Labour Party because I was scared Jeremy Corbyn would come up and just cause complete chaos for the economy. Started going back on things, and it just would have been a mess. This is my political view. But the fact is, this guy's come in and he has not done one. I want to swear he has not, because I'm frustrated. He hasn't done one thing right, dude.
I know. It's like you try and think. I mean, I guess it's common sense, isn't it? Like when they did the furlough scheme and they threw in that big support for the economy, but they had to do that, didn't they? Like if they hadn't done that, it would have been a catastrophe.
Yeah.
Exactly. Everybody else was doing it
exactly.
as well, so
everybody else was doing it anyway. Exactly. So, it's not like the UK made some bold call here that no one else was doing. Everyone was doing it anyway, like cash handouts in Japan, US, so on and so forth. So, yeah, man. It's just a moron. Let's see anyway. I don't know what's going to happen. But we got
them for another, 4 years anyway? So
unfortunately so. But you never know what could happen in between. You never know what could happen in between.
Yeah, you never know.
He could have a loss of confidence at some point. Someone pipes up and gets him kicked out, and you never know. See what happens.
Yeah, true. We'll see. You never know. British politics, a mess.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a mess for years, really, since for a long time.
Brexit, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, since Tony Blair sort of finished, I think since then it's been an absolute mess. Like from Tony Blair's second term, I think from his second term, it's been a mess. Gordon Brown, freaking David Cameron, all of them. They're all a bunch of twats.
Gordon Brown, worst trade ever. Selling gold at the bottom, dude.
God, yeah. Awful.
It's like, it just makes you, he sold gold. I can't remember what it was, but I think it was at about 200 or something like that.
Bro, yeah, exactly. I know. I know. I've read about that.
And now where's it at? $2,000.
Mad,
$2,000 per ounce.
Madness. But all right, dude, let's get back to markets a minute. Sorry, I went off there on politics. But so this week, what else have we been had? Okay, Brexit, we've sort of briefly touched upon it. There's seemingly optimism remains, despite obviously face-to-face talks are off at the moment. But GBP, right at this very moment, still pushing higher. They're saying a deal can be done next week, from what I've heard in reports.
Yeah, there's been pumping of expectations for next week, loads of different people coming out and saying it, basically different sources. So I think if we don't get a deal next week, then there could potentially be a bit of disappointment. But even if we don't get a deal next week, there's still time.
Exactly.
Until you get to December, early December, that's when it really starts getting tight, I think. So
agreed. Okay, so optimism is going to continue to drive pound higher for now, unless otherwise. And then I think really that this week that's pretty much it. I mean, I was taking a look at the calendar for next week, and dude, so obviously we said about data, right? Let's start looking at data. How is the Eurozone going to be impacted by these latest restrictions? Do you think it would have filtered through to this batch of PMIs that we've got now from next week? We've got it on Monday.
Yeah, I reckon it will start to filter through. Definitely start. It won't be the bottom. I'm sure it won't be the bottom. The bottom will probably be maybe January. So we might have to wait another 2 months for that. But I don't know. It'll be interesting because has the market already priced that in by now? Is that just going to be old news? The market's we expected that. So I don't know. We'll have to see.
That's a good point. That is a very good point. Yeah, that is a very good point. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, dips continue to be bought for riskier currencies either way, as it seems. Yeah, man. Dollar's in trouble still. Yeah, let me just quickly show you something, actually, Dollar, just before we wrap up. I just want to share my screen again. So obviously I was showing you this, and it just, obviously you can see we just continue to test this support at the moment. Looks like it's going to give way. It's just, I had marked up all of this called, like a flag. So all of our pole, and this is our consolidation, our flag. We had that breakout 2 weeks ago. This was the retest last week, rejections. So it does leave this door open for this to just continue to the downside now. You see, look, almost similar. Look here in 2017, right? A bit of consolidation around these current areas here. Look, consolidation. Then we finally, after consolidation, we broke through and came all the way down to 89. You know what I mean? It's quite similar.
Yeah, definitely. It's actually kind of scary how similar those chart patterns look, actually.
Yeah, history repeats itself, baby. The data's all there, just looking left. Okay, let's round off on one thing, actually, while we're on the topic of dollar. FOMC, right? We've got the minutes next Wednesday. We've seen, obviously, you did an article on it, a blog on it last week, right, on the Freak News section. it seems like FOMC are, we've got getting a bit more dovish commentary again. And from what I've read, actually, a market's pricing in some action in December because the lack of fiscal stimulus from politicians.
Markets I think they're starting to expect the Fed to expand their QE program, potentially, because at the minute they're just buying bonds. I'm not sure actually what maturity of bonds they're buying, but they're definitely not buying the long end bonds, 30 year. They might expand out there a little bit. But yeah, like you say, man, they've become really dovish this week in their tone on the economy. And also, here's another factor. Did you see, there was some news last night about the Treasury.
Oh, I saw that.
The
Treasury Secretary, yeah.
I think it might be some parting shots from the Trump administration to screw things up a bit.
Exactly. Yeah. Because it just doesn't make... Why would you, it doesn't make sense. Like, why are you calling for that? Yeah, definitely. I agree with you.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Just for the listeners, it was basically like the Fed has these lending programs where they lend directly to the real economy. And they lend using money from the Treasury as backup money. And now the Treasury is basically saying, we're not going to extend that program on December 31st and we want the money back. And now the Fed's going, oh my God, we can't.
Sickos, honestly. It just doesn't make any sense. Absolute morons. God. But
I know.
Yeah, no, cheers for that, dude. Yeah, all right, sweet. I mean, I guess that's pretty much it, bro. Just another week and looks like some further dollar downside. That's pretty much it, dudes.
Nice.
Cool. Bless. Nice one, bro. Stay lit, baby.
Have a good one.
You
too.